What if one pregnancy reveal did not bring Mido and Debby closer, but instead pushed their marriage drama straight toward a breaking point? Because right when fans thought this relationship had already given every possible red flag, the baby rumor suddenly changed the entire conversation. 1 minute, people were talking about fights, control, fame, and trust issues. The next minute, everyone was asking the same shocking question: is a baby now caught in the middle of Mido and Debby's biggest relationship crisis yet? And that is where this story gets messy. This is not just about a possible pregnancy reveal. This is about timing. This is about pressure. This is about a couple that already looked unstable before the baby conversation even entered the picture. And when a relationship is already shaking, even happy news can start looking like a warning sign instead of a blessing. Mido and Debby were never the kind of couple fans could watch quietly. From the beginning, there was something about them that made viewers pause and say, something is not adding up here. Mido came from Egypt with big dreams, big confidence, and a very clear idea of how he wanted his life in America to look. Debby, on the other hand, seemed more focused on emotional connection, loyalty, and building something real, even when the relationship kept showing cracks. That difference alone already created tension. He wanted attention, movement, opportunity, and maybe a bigger stage. She wanted security, honesty, and a partner who made her feel chosen instead of managed. And when two people want completely different things from the same relationship, love does not always solve the problem. Sometimes love just becomes the decoration on top of a situation that is already falling apart. Fans noticed this early. There was the age gap. There was the culture gap. There was the communication gap. And honestly, when you stack that many gaps on top of each other, at some point it stops looking like a romantic bridge and starts looking like a very expensive emotional construction project. But the biggest issue was trust. Debby seemed to want a private, sincere love story. Mido seemed comfortable with cameras, content, attention, and the idea of turning moments into visibility. That difference made fans question what he really wanted. Was he there for Debby? Was he there for America? Was he there for fame? Or was it some confusing mix of all three? Because apparently reality television relationships now need a spreadsheet just to understand basic intentions. And then came the pregnancy reveal rumor. Normally, when a couple is expecting a baby, people celebrate. They imagine a fresh start. They imagine healing. They imagine two people putting the drama aside and finally becoming a team. But with Mido and Debby, the reaction was not simple happiness. It was confusion. It was suspicion. It was fans looking at the timing and wondering whether this baby news was a miracle moment or damage control dressed up as a blessing. Because let's be honest, the timing matters. If a relationship is peaceful, baby news feels like growth. But if a relationship is already filled with fighting, emotional distance, public arguments, and questions about motives, then baby news can feel like one more layer of pressure. It can make everything more serious overnight. It can turn a messy relationship into a life-changing situation. And for Mido and Debby, that is exactly why fans started talking. The pregnancy reveal did not arrive in a calm love story. It arrived in the middle of chaos. Viewers had already seen tension between them. They had already watched moments where Debby looked hurt and overwhelmed. They had already questioned whether Mido truly understood how much emotional pressure he was placing on her. So when the baby rumors started spreading, people did not just ask, "Are they excited?" They asked, "Are they even okay?" That question is what makes this story so intense. Because a baby can bring people together, but it can also expose every weak spot in a relationship. If trust is already broken, a baby does not magically repair it. If respect is already missing, a baby does not suddenly create it. If one person already feels used, ignored, or emotionally cornered, then pregnancy does not erase that feeling. It can actually make it stronger. Because now the stakes are no longer just romantic. They are permanent. And this is where the divorce drama starts to make sense. Fans are not just reacting to one rumor. They are reacting to the whole pattern. They are connecting every fight, every awkward moment, every emotional scene, and every question about Mido's motives. They are looking at Debby and wondering if she got pulled into something deeper than she expected. They are looking at Mido and wondering if he truly understood the responsibility that comes with marriage, family, and a possible child. The scary part is that this relationship already had pressure before the baby conversation. Mido was trying to build a future in America. Debbie was trying to protect her heart. The show was watching everything. The fans were judging everything. And now, with the pregnancy reveal rumor hanging over them, every small disagreement suddenly feels bigger. A normal argument becomes a warning sign. A quiet moment becomes suspicious. A deleted post becomes evidence. A facial expression becomes a full fan theory, because reality TV fans do not simply watch a show anymore. They investigate it like unpaid detectives with caffeine and trust issues. And that is why this story has people hooked. Because Mido and Debby are no longer just a couple with problems. They are now at the center of a much bigger question. Can a relationship already filled with doubt survive baby pressure, public judgment, and divorce rumors at the same time? Or was this pregnancy reveal the moment that finally exposed everything they had been trying to hide? Now, before the pregnancy reveal rumor took over the conversation, Mido and Debby already had the kind of relationship that made viewers uncomfortable in a very specific way. It was not just normal couple tension. It was not the cute kind of arguing where two people disagree about dinner plans and then make up 5 minutes later. Their conflict felt heavier. It felt personal. It felt like both of them were walking around with completely different versions of the relationship in their heads. Debby seemed to believe she was building a serious love story. She wanted emotional safety. She wanted devotion. She wanted a man who was present with her, not just physically in the same room but emotionally there in the relationship. Mido seemed to want a future too, but his version of the future looked very different. His dream had lights, cameras, attention, and maybe a bigger platform than the one he had before. And that difference became impossible to ignore. When fans watched Mido and Debby together, they noticed the energy between them was not balanced. Debby often looked like someone trying to hold the relationship together with both hands. Mido at times seemed more focused on what the relationship could give him than what it needed from him. That is where the suspicion started. And once fans become suspicious, every small detail becomes part of the case file, because apparently watching television is no longer enough for the human species. Then came the fight that changed the mood. The Halloween outing was supposed to be a fun night, but instead, it turned into one of those moments where the mask came off in the worst possible way. What should have been a simple night out became another emotional explosion. Mido clashed with Debby and her friends, and suddenly the situation did not feel like a regular argument anymore. It felt like a relationship reaching the edge. Debby's friends were not just background characters in that moment. They represented the outside voices that had probably been watching this relationship with concern for a long time. Friends often see things the person in love does not want to see. They notice the tone. They notice the control. They notice when someone keeps giving excuses for behavior that should not need an excuse. And when those friends pushed back, Mido did not seem ready for it. That is when the tension went from awkward to alarming. The argument reportedly became intense enough that producers had to step in. And let's be honest, when reality TV producers, who normally treat chaos like free electricity, decide something has gone too far, that says a lot. These are people who usually let drama simmer because drama pays the bills. So when they interrupt, it means the situation is no longer just good television. It means someone is actually worried. For Debby, that moment looked painful. She was not just dealing with a disagreement. She was dealing with embarrassment, pressure, confusion, and possibly the realization that the man she fought for might not be the partner she imagined. That is a brutal feeling. It is one thing to defend a relationship when people do not understand it. It is another thing when the relationship starts proving everyone right in front of your face. And this is exactly why the pregnancy reveal rumor hit fans so hard. Because after seeing that kind of conflict, people did not hear baby news and think, beautiful new chapter. They thought, how is this going to work? How can two people who struggle to handle one emotional conversation handle the life-changing pressure of becoming parents? How can a couple already facing divorce rumors suddenly pretend everything is stable because a baby might be involved? That is the uncomfortable part. A baby does not pause reality. A baby does not delete old arguments. A baby does not turn a controlling partner into a caring one overnight. A baby does not make trust appear where doubt has already been living rent-free. If anything, baby news makes the truth harder to avoid, because now every decision matters more. And for Mido and Debby, the divorce drama became even more complicated because fans were already split. Some viewers felt deeply sorry for Debby. They saw a woman who wanted love, and may have ignored too many warning signs because she believed in the good version of Mido. They saw someone trying to protect a relationship that kept hurting her. They worried that if the pregnancy rumor was true, Debby might feel even more trapped emotionally, because leaving a messy relationship becomes harder when family pressure enters the picture. Other fans were harsher. They questioned Debby's judgment. They asked why she kept accepting behavior that seemed disrespectful. They wondered whether she confused attention with love, or whether she wanted the relationship to work so badly that she kept rewriting the story in her own mind. That sounds cruel, but reality TV audiences are not exactly known for delicate emotional handling. They will pause a scene, zoom in on someone's face, and diagnose a relationship like they graduated from the University of Comment sections. Then there were the fans who focused on Mido. They questioned his motives from the start. They wondered whether he saw Debby as a partner or as a doorway into a bigger life. His interest in acting, fame, and social media attention only made those questions louder. And once viewers start thinking someone may be using the relationship for opportunity, every romantic gesture starts looking like strategy. That is what made the pregnancy reveal rumor so explosive. It did not land in a clean story. It landed in a story already full of doubt. It landed after fights. It landed after emotional breakdowns. It landed when people were already asking whether this marriage was built on love or convenience. And then came the twist that made everything even stranger. While viewers were watching all this public tension and wondering whether Mido and Debby were close to ending things, reports claimed they had already gotten married. That changed the whole meaning of the drama. Because if they were legally married while the relationship looked unstable on screen, then the divorce rumors were no longer just fan gossip. They became a real possibility hanging over a real marriage. Suddenly, the question was not just whether they should stay together. The question became whether they had already gone too far to walk away easily. And this is where the story takes the kind of turn that makes fans stop scrolling and start questioning everything. Because while the public drama made it look like Mido and Debby were falling apart, the marriage twist made the whole situation even more confusing. Viewers were watching arguments, emotional distance, and divorce rumors. But behind all of that, reports claimed that Mido and Debby had actually gotten married. That changes everything. Because when two people are only dating, a breakup can be painful, but it is still simple compared to marriage. There are feelings, memories, and heartbreak. But legally, people can walk away. Marriage is different. Marriage adds paperwork, pressure, families, public embarrassment, and real consequences. So when fans heard that Mido and Debby may have tied the knot while their relationship already looked unstable, the pregnancy reveal rumor suddenly felt much heavier. It was no longer just about two people fighting. It became about whether they had trapped themselves inside a relationship that was already sending warning signals from every direction. And then fans started asking the uncomfortable question. Was the baby news the reason they were trying to stay together? Or was the baby news the thing that made the divorce drama even worse? Because that can happen. Sometimes a couple already knows their relationship is broken, but then one huge life event arrives and forces them to act like everything is fine. They smile. They post. They say the right things. They talk about fresh starts and second chances. But behind closed doors, the same problems are still there, waiting like unpaid bills. For Mido and Debby, those problems were not small. The biggest question around Mido was always his motive. Fans could not ignore his dream of becoming a bigger name, his interest in attention, and the way he seemed to enjoy the public side of the relationship. Debby, meanwhile, looked like someone who wanted love to be private, safe, and real. That difference created a strange imbalance. It made people wonder if they were even chasing the same future. And when people already believe one partner may be more interested in fame than family, a pregnancy reveal becomes complicated. Some fans started thinking the baby news could be used to control the story. Others believed Debby might be trying to protect the relationship because she had already invested too much emotionally. And some viewers felt both of them were caught in a situation that moved too fast, got too public, and became too hard to manage. That is why the divorce drama did not feel random. It felt like the natural result of everything that had been building from the start. The age gap made people talk. The culture gap made things harder. The trust gap made every moment suspicious. And Mido's fame dreams gave fans one more reason to question whether Debby was getting a husband or helping build someone else's spotlight. The sad part is that Debby seemed emotionally deep in this relationship. She did not come across like someone playing a game. She seemed like someone who wanted the love story to be real so badly that she kept trying to explain away the signs. And that is something many viewers understood, because sometimes people do not ignore red flags because they are blind. They ignore them because they are hoping the person they love will finally become the person they promised to be. But hope can be dangerous when it keeps you standing in the same fire. And now, with a possible pregnancy reveal hanging over everything, the stakes feel even higher. If the rumor is true, then this is no longer just a messy reality TV couple with divorce drama. This is a possible family situation with real emotional weight. That is why fans are not watching casually anymore. They are watching for cracks. They are watching for clues. They are watching to see whether Mido steps up, whether Debby pulls away, and whether this marriage has any real foundation underneath all the noise. Because at this point, the biggest twist is not the pregnancy rumor. The biggest twist is whether this relationship was ever strong enough to survive good news. And now the biggest question is simple, but the answer is not. If the pregnancy reveal is true, does it save Mido and Debby's marriage? Or does it expose how broken everything already was? Because a baby can bring love into a home, but it cannot fix trust by itself. It cannot erase every fight. It cannot silence every doubt. And it definitely cannot turn a shaky marriage into a perfect one overnight, no matter how many fans want a happy ending. For Debby, this moment feels emotional because she has already invested so much. She wanted love, loyalty, and a real future. But now she may be facing a situation where every choice feels heavy. Staying could mean giving the marriage one last chance. Leaving could mean accepting that love was not enough. For Mido, this is the moment where words no longer matter as much as actions. Fans want to see if he will step up, protect the relationship, and prove that he is not just chasing attention. Because once baby rumors enter the story, the spotlight gets smaller, and responsibility gets much bigger. That is why the divorce drama feels so intense. It is not just gossip anymore. It feels like a relationship standing between a fresh start and a final goodbye. So now fans are watching closely. Will this pregnancy reveal become the reason Mido and Debby fight for their marriage? Or will it become the final twist that pushes them toward divorce? One thing is clear. Their story is no longer just about love. It is about trust, pressure, and whether two people can survive when the whole world is watching their cracks. This fictional story is for entertainment purposes.